this new age where content creation pays more than many traditional jobs. Imagine having an automated system that does all the heavy lifting for you. It fetches the news, it identifies trending patterns, and then posts generated content on a social media platform of your choice. So in this tutorial, we are going to be doing exactly that. We'll build a completely hands-free automation system using n8n, and the system will fetch breaking news about Cristiano Ronaldo. For the purposes of this tutorial, you're going to be using Cristiano Ronaldo. It fetches news about Cristiano Ronaldo. It turns the news into tweet-ready posts using AI, of course, and then stores them to Google Sheets. And then later it posts them to X. And all of this is without any manual input. And for the purposes of this tutorial, you're going to be creating a fan page for Cristiano Ronaldo, and you're going to post on X. But you can decide according to the niche of your choice. You create something that fits your niche and the social media platform that you choose. So we are going to be doing everything from scratch, from start to finish. You're going to see everything live. So head over to n8n, and after creating a workflow, just name it the way you want. And the first node that we are going to put is a trigger, and so we shall schedule this trigger to run every 6 hours. So, and then from there, search for a node called RSS. So RSS read, and then what this does basically is it reads from a URL that you give to it. So all of these URLs, you will find them at the link that we'll place at the description. So make sure you use the link to find all the assets that you need for this tutorial. So we are going to fetch the news from a couple of endpoints, and once again, you're going to get all these endpoints in the link that we are going to place in the description. So make sure you check out. So also add another node. I think we are going to add around 5 of these nodes with different links. So we are going to add another node. So that's another RSS. You can rename it the way you want. And naming convention is very important, because once you have very many nodes and you don't know which one is doing what will help you is having the nodes named correctly, and they give information about whatever they are doing. So make sure you name your nodes. It's not necessary. I mean, it's not a must that you do it, but it really helps in the long run. So yes, so once you have all these nodes, we are going to have to find a node called merge. And what this node does is that it waits for all the previous nodes to be executed before it completes. So if you have like 2, 3, 4, 5 different nodes and you want to wait for all of them to run, you have to use a merge node. So up until there, you can see that the execution is running well. You can see that there are some items that are being returned from every node, and so these are the items that we need in our next node, which is merge. So you just search merge node, and then because we have 5 inputs, make sure that first the mode is append and the number of inputs matches the number of the previous nodes that you want to send the data to this node. So basically make sure that all the nodes are directed towards your merge node, so that all data can get into the merge node, because we need all this data for what we need to do. So you can execute. You can see that 338 items have been appended together through the merge node. Yes, so our next node is going to be a code, and if you're good in Python, you can choose the Python one, but for me, I love JavaScript more, and so I'll choose the JavaScript node. So again, the code for this node is going to be available in the resources link. So make sure to use the link in the description to find the code. So if you want explanation about the code, we'll do another video to explain about what the code is doing. But basically, it's going to filter the content for Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's going to look at the recent content, and it's also going to make sure that there is no duplication. So that's basically what this node does. It makes sure that there's no duplication and filters the content. So from 300 and something items, you can see that we only have less than 20 items. We have 10 items. And so next we're going to add an if node. So for those guys who are familiar with a little code here and there, you know that if it just checks whether a condition is true or not, and then it performs an action. So here we are going to check, and then this is a syntax that is you'll find a lot in n8n. So what we are going to check is just if whatever is returned has news. And so this is a property that is added in the previous code node. So if it has no news, then you do something. So that's basically what an if node is. So as I said, make sure that you name your nodes appropriately. So as you can see, everything is running smoothly. Yes, everything is running smoothly. So you can see there's a true branch and there is a false branch. So next, on the false branch, there's a node that is called do nothing. It's basically do nothing actually. So, but on the true branch, you're going to add another code node. Again, code in JavaScript. Always name your nodes appropriately. So this is going to be a code node, and it's going to be looking at so it's going to remove everything that is already processed, and you'll find the code for this node in the resources section. So just go check for remove already processed, get the code, paste it inside this tab, and then you'll be good to go. I think we'll explain more about what exactly is happening in this code in another video that you'll also find in our class. Yes, so you can test by executing up to there. So if there is any error, you'll find that there'll be red colors here and there. So let's execute and see. We see that everything is green. That means that everything is working correctly. That is the beauty of n8n. If everything is working, everything is green. So we add another if node. As I said, if node is just a node that checks whether some condition is true and then does something based on that condition. It has two branches, the true branch and the false branch. So for this node, once again, this is a syntax that you'll see a lot in n8n. Check if it has no news. Yes, so if the no news articles is true, that means we don't need it. So that will fall on the false branch. So if no news is true, that means there's no news. So that means that we do no operation. This is a node, no operation. So that means everything has been processed. Again, naming convention. Make sure that what you name clearly explains what the node does. So that's the false branch. So we are focusing on the true branch. That is where we are going to continue with our automation. So we'll add a new node on the true branch. First of all, you run. Everything is running smoothly. So we go on, add a new node, and this is called a loop. So what a loop does is that it usually receives a number of items, so you cannot loop over a single item. So it might receive 10, 15, 20 items, and then it will fire a single item every time it runs. Whatever you place ahead of the loop branch is executed for every of the item that is fed to the loop node. 10 items into the loop node, it will run 10 times. So for the done branch, we'll execute that one later. So that's what happens when everything has run. So we are going to add an LLM, and we are going, make sure you just follow everything as we do. So for the model, we are going to be using OpenAI, and we'll link a video on how to set up OpenAI and the credentials later. But we are going to be we are going to be using GPT-4 Mini because of the credits. It usually uses less credits compared to other models. So let's try and execute. You can see that there is a problem. There is a problem with our workflow. So let's execute it again. So for LLM, you're going to copy this prompt and paste inside the prompt. So for the title, you can just drag and drop. And then for the link, you can also just drag and drop. So, but it will be you'll just paste it into the user message. And then what you're going to add is called a system message. And this is what controls how the LLM thinks. You're going to find the prompt also for the system message inside our resources. So it basically tells the LLM what to do. It controls, it's like the heart of the LLM. So these are the rules, the do's and the don'ts for the LLM. So you can see there's accept, create tweet if, there's the rules for the tweet, and then there's the output that we expect. So make sure you define what you need, exactly how you want it. And I think this is it for this node. And nothing should be done with the OpenAI model. Once you set up the credentials, I think that's it. So we are going to move forward, and we are going to add a code node. So what we are going to be doing for this with this node is we are going to be formatting. We're just going to format it for our sheets. So you'll find the code once again in the resources. Just copy and paste, and you're good to go. So once you paste, you're good to go. So we can execute the workflow, and everything is running on smoothly. Yes, you can see that is the output for the code node. Everything is okay the way it's expected. And then I noticed that I had not talked about this node, and this node is just an if node, and we're going to check for a value called skip. So if skip is not true, we go to the true branch. So if skip is false, we go to the false branch. So you can just add this node after the code node. Yes, so that's it. So and as I said, guys, make sure your naming is very conventional. So on the false branch, we are not going to be doing anything. That's it for that node. So if skipped, so this is another concept that maybe I need to explain. So I say that for the loop node, it will fire actions for the same item for every node that is after the loop node. So you can see that after skipped, we go back to where we started. So that means the second item is selected, and that goes like that. When it comes back, the third item, the fourth item, and it continues on like that. So after everything, we are now back to where we started. That means everything is now firing and everything is going through all the branches that we need. So we can now loop over the items that we have now, because after everything, it has now a complete list of the modified items and the things that we want. These things have been skipped, but we now have a final list. Now we can now loop over the things that we want and do the things that we want now. So for this second loop, what we are basically doing with this loop is that for every item, we are going to append it to our Google Sheets. And so you select Google Sheets as your node and select append rows. So name the way you want, how you remember. So I'll name it append tweets, and then there's a way that we set credentials. So I have a lot of credentials that are set for my n8n, but we'll link how to set credentials for Google in the description. So this is our sheet, and right now you can see that there's not a lot going on there. So you select it from the list, and one thing that I didn't mention is that make sure you keep saving as you go. You keep saving so that in case of anything, all your workflows are okay. So after that, make sure that you map each column manually. So make sure that on your Google Sheets you have these columns: title, content, posted. So for every column, you just drag what you want to be filled in that column. So for the title, I shall just fill it with the title. The content, I shall fill with the tweet, and then posted, it's no. So let's try run and see what happens this time. Let's see. First loop. You can see what's happening in real time, that the content is being generated and added to the Google Sheets in real time, guys. This is so amazing. So it's automatically setting it to no. So is it posted? No. So this is exactly what we want. So make sure that the loop returns back to the starting point so that every item is run through. Yes, so this is exactly the expected behavior for our first automation. Just to reiterate again, it fetches news about Cristiano Ronaldo and goes over them, finds what to tweet, adds it to X. So our next automation is going to be posting to X from the Google Sheets that we had. So we are going to use the data that we had and post it on the Google Sheets. So n8n, make sure you name your workflow the way you want. So I'll name mine as CR7 X poster or posting. the first node that we are going to add is again a trigger, and that is going to be running every 3 hours. So for the trigger interval, you select 3, or you can select the time that you want, the interval that you want your X to be updated. And I understand that X API has restrictions based on the user. If you pay for it, maybe you can post more, but if not, you might not post more. So we are going to fetch the data from the API, from the sheets, and make sure you select your credential that you know works, and then choose the document from the list. For me, I'm going to choose CR7. Okay, so and then from the sheet, choose the sheet that you know has the data that you want, and then we are going to add a filter, and we are going to select only the column, the rows that are not posted. So if posted is no, then we can return the value. So that's the purpose of that filter. And because we're going to be posting only once, we don't want a couple of stuff returned, so make sure that it returns the first matching item. Yes, so it returns only one row. So the next node, X has a node integrated to n8n. So we are going to create a tweet. You can see how easy this is, guys. Again, we are going to link, or you can just search YouTube how to link an X account. I mean, to create credentials for X in n8n, but we're going to link a video to help you to create your credentials. So resource, make sure it's tweet. And then for now, because we're just focusing on text, so make sure that it's an expression, expand it, and then take the content, drag, drop it. So that becomes our tweet. And you can see the result, big match approaching Al Nasr's. So that's basically it. So next, again, after posting, we have to make sure that we append that row to say that we've already posted this tweet, so that next time we don't post the same things every other time. So make sure it's an update row, select your document, select your sheet, and then select the column that you want to update. So I shall match it based on the row number. So let's take a look at our X node, even without updating the sheet. So let's run it and see. So if we open, I want us to open X and look at the post. So you can see that it's been posted 14 seconds ago. So that's basically what we've just posted right now. So this is amazing. So it posts for the time that you've scheduled, it will always post. So we are going to update our row based on the row number. Make sure you select your node that is get rows in sheet, and then drag the row number, drag it there, and then delete all those other items because we don't want anything to do with them. We just want to change posted to yes, so that next time we don't post the same things. So run it again, and then open. Get more of these in our classes. We have a class that we teach automations here and there, so make sure to join our automation classroom, and we are going to be leaving a link down in the descriptions. You learn a lot of things. You learn more about automation. You learn how to use automation in your day-to-day activities, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. So make sure to click the link in the description to join the wait list and be part of a large team.